Just sit in any odd shape. You can sit cross-legged or mermaid seat or a long cross-legged seat. Don't sit in a straddle yet. We'll get to that. Doing this without the hands, because that is a muscular work that we all need in the iliacus. But if you feel like, I don't know what this is, use your hands, tilt the pelvis forward, so pulling your sits bones back, and then just be here for the moment. And as you bring those sits bones a little more back, you should start to feel some engagement in your belly. And sorry, in your butt. Oh my God, belly is coming in a second. I was distracted. So sending the sits bones back should start to activate. It's actually pulling your glutes into more length. We're gonna do a side bend to the right. To the right, yes. So your elbow is not going to the floor, but it's just gonna go slightly on the outside of your right knee. And then pull the right heel down into the floor, and you're gonna lift up, and you're gonna take your elbow to the inside of the knee. That's it. Pull down into the floor, take your elbow to the outside of the knee. Pull down into the floor, take the elbow to the inside. And then come off the pillow and come into a forward bend. And that is all up to you. You can bend your knees a lot, put your hands on the floor, and pull your feet down into the ground. And notice so much harder because we're really saying we're only going to move here. We're not moving the whole body. We're not moving the arms and the legs and the spine. We're usually just saying we're going to move the hip, or we're going to move the spine or the legs. And that's what makes it hard. But it's not meaning it's just going to work one muscle. Come back to the center, round yourself up, pull your feet into the floor, keep your head heavy, use your legs. You got to pull with your hamstrings, literally yourself up to standing. Keep the bend in the knees so your hamstrings are not shut out. They're still active. Functional position to be in. Bending the knees, sticking the butt out a little bit. We're trying not to be tucked. And then we're going to pull the feet. We're pulling the ground behind us. Feel how that moves my pelvis slightly forward, but I'm very much pointing up to the ceiling. Please have a little pillow for your head, or a big pillow, depending on how your spine looks. All right, your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the floor. And we're gonna just check in first and foremost with the hip. And how much more can I get my kidneys to kiss the earth? Can I get my kidneys to be just a little bit heavier? It's not gonna be a tuck. It's not gonna make our pelvis tilt towards us. We're gonna try and keep the sits bones heavy and take the kidneys down. And that should get your attention all the way around your low belly, middle belly, and then lower one foot and then lower the other. Big side kicks today. I'm on my left side here, and if you're on your left side, you're going to tuck your left toes, try to tuck your left toes under that so your left leg actually is an external rotation. You're going to use your right hand right in front as a little kickstand. And my right hip is going to come just slightly forward. Can you still stick your butt out? So notice if you started out with a tucked pelvis, can you stick your butt out? And then can you bring your kidneys back? So your head could be actually slightly forward and looking down at your left toes here, just checking if they're tucked in, tucked out, externally rotated, but tucked under. And then we're going to lift the right leg up as high as possible. Now noticing, am I locking my knee here? And is the lift of the leg going to bring my right hip up? We're trying not to. Might have to get a little mouse house here on your left side. And then we're going to tap the toes as far forward as you can. Now, as far forward doesn't mean that your whole hip is going to roll. We're trying to stabilize this hip. And then we're going to lift down, control it down with your toes, lie on your back.
And just feel that. That feels pretty good. Okay. Now turn.
We're going to first just lift your knees a little bit off the ground, and you should start to feel activity again in the hamstrings. Make sure you're sticking your sits bones up to the ceiling, you're lifting your kidneys slightly up so the belly is engaged. And then as I pick up my knees, there should be little activity. This could be it. This exercise, just slide. Again, it's not about locking the knees and pushing the back of the knee up to the ceiling, just picking them up. If you don't feel activity in your buttocks and in your hamstrings, maybe you have to put your pelvis on a higher pillow. This is not about feeling in your lower back. If you feel in your lower back, higher pillow, more belly. Now, let's lift the knees and then see if we can actually also lift both big toes off the ground.
Because you should start here, roll down, and end here. Now, spine stretch forward. Bend your knees. You're going to sit. Find your sits bones on the floor, and your feet are about hip distance apart. So we're not going to be too wide. We're going to be hip distance apart. So maybe 3 inches between your big toes. Now pull the heels down into the ground and already notice how that. And right away, make sure that left knee is bent. We don't want to lock that back knee out. See, maybe even your left knee might be able to almost touch the ground. Pick up the kidneys. Now, maybe your hands stay on the surface and you step back forward and then slowly come up. So this is kind of the basic version. Let's do the actually chamber and step forward. Rick, maybe be careful here. Maybe you want to step back. And then let's step it back again. Use whatever you need to. It doesn't have to be as big of a lunge as you just did in the step back. Shifting. Forward, hinge, hips, knees, ankles, flex, foot. Now pulling those back toes down, pull yourself back. Excellent. All right. Come and lie on your back. Make sure you have something for an hour. So very short spurts of unsettle,